We hope that we brought game-changing guests, bringing game-changing gold dust to help you change the game in the lane that you're in. Hello and welcome to Already Won Sports Friends Podcast. We are here reviewing Season 3, and where are we, Mad Dog?
This looks like paradise.
We made it.
James Lake.
There we are.
Lake James, I forget what it is.
Lake James. So Season 1 review in Houston, great bookshelf. Season 2 on the beach.
No bookshelf.
Season 3.
No bookshelf.
No bookshelf today.
But we're on the shores.
On the lake. You can see the mountains in the background. We got the lake. This is tranquil. This is sensational. Mad Dog, we have been in Season 3, which is all about being a game changer. And we hope that we've brought game-changing guests, bringing game-changing gold dust to help you change the game in the lane that you're in, or the lake that you're in.
The lake. It's got to be the lake.
So we've enjoyed it, Mad Dog. But we want to talk about a game-changing tool that Sports Friends has to begin with. We want to use this as a framework before we dive into reviewing season.
Are we diving into the water?
We're at the end of the episode.
Okay.
We're diving
Definitely.
in. We're
You're
swimming.
first.
There you go.
First.
At the end of the episode, we're straight in.
You
But
first.
4 Corner Plus, this is something we use within our training, right? We have it in level 1, and now we've got it in level 2, which focuses on holistic player development. Right, so talk to us through the 4 Corner Plus model using your favorite verse, Luke 2:52.
First one we talked about, the live, lead, minister, coach, and then Jesus at the center. As a Christian, I want to live, lead, minister, coach. Now we've gone to level 2. We want to incorporate Jesus' life into our life. As a Christian, I want to model Jesus' life. So Luke, the physician, looked at Jesus as he was growing up, 12-year-old Jesus, and saying, this guy, this Jesus is going to be great. He's growing in wisdom and in strength and in favor with God and in favor with man. Those 4 areas was Luke's growth. And we want to say, can we model that? Can we pass that model on to our coaches? But more so, can we develop youth that grow in the same 4 ways? Well, we're going to add a plus, though, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. So I love that. So we want to help players develop in those 4 areas, right? Just like Jesus did as a 12, 13-year-old boy. That's your life verse.
That's my life verse.
That's your life verse. That's it. So we have something within the FA in England, which is called the 4 Corner model. So coaches can help players develop technically, it's one box, physically, socially, and psychologically. So they're the 4 areas, 4 corners, right? But when we got together, we realized that this is just sports if we just do the 4 corners, right? And we want to integrate it with Luke 2:52,
Heck yeah.
sports ministry.
Yeah.
So coaches helping young players be transformed holistically, but not forgetting the spiritual side. So we then created the technical corner. We called that outer wisdom, right? That's what we call it.
Outer wisdom.
Outer wisdom in that corner. If a player develops physically, we call that developing in stature, just the same way Jesus grew. In terms of psychologically, we call that inner wisdom in our mind. And then socially, a favor with man. And then lastly, the
middle,
plus.
the
What's
plus.
that?
Spiritual, favor with God.
Boom. So the
Having
4
that
Corner
spiritual.
Plus. Love it. So that's a bit of our game-changing training that we use within level 2. So we train
dust.
coaches. There's gold dust right there. Going in the lake, the gold dust is overflowing into the lake today.
Ooh,
so
there's
that's
gold in them there legs.
Don't tell anyone. There's no one here. There's literally no one here. No one here.
People behind us, maybe. But
So that's our game-changing training. So we love it. Luke 2:52 combined with the 4 Corner Plus. Now we want to review our guests. So some of our guests talked about different things that relate to the 4 Corner Plus. So who do you want to start with, Maddo? Who you bringing to the table? Who you bringing to this table?
let's bring guest number 1 in.
Guest number 1.
Shai Inua.
He was a Sports Friends game changer. I loved it. He talked about sports being a laboratory where human development can happen. The sports field.
Spiritual aspect.
Spiritual aspect. Sports ministry. That was a great example. And Shia spoke. He was our most viewed episode. Over 4,000 views on Facebook. And
Go back and watch it 1,000 more times, people.
so much wisdom. And when he talks, it comes from a place of deep wisdom. Right, that was a Shia. Your buddy, right?
That's right.
Yep, loved it. Right, I'm bringing to the table guest number 2. We don't have to go in chronological order, but this was probably one of our biggest names. Bert Emanuel.
Whew.
Now, Bert Emanuel was a literal game changer. So his catch basically was ruled a catch that wasn't a
Bert
real
Emanuel rule. Go back and watch that one as well.
Yeah.
Had a couple thousand views to that.
catch. It became an actual game-changing rule. Now, for me, this was fascinating because he actually had to go and talk about the psychological corner. his own son had to help him kind of release himself from the past, from not making it to the Super Bowl. Probably would have won the Super Bowl, right? Maybe. But his own son helped him kind of get over that, like, kind of disappointment and that, I would say, injustice in a way that happened, right?
Well, so it was a game that they should have called. I mean, the rules shouldn't have been enacted, but it is, thankfully. But at that time, it wasn't. So rule to call, then deemed not a call, and rule to catch, then deemed not a catch. They could have gone on to win that championship game, gone on to Super Bowl, possibly won, because the team that beat them, the Rams, went on to win the Super Bowl. So that hurt. When you should have had something, when it should have been, logically, legally, whatever you want to say, and it's deemed not. So fortunately for us, he had that come to Jesus moment with his son.
Which is great. But I also love, from a technical point of view, Bert was someone that actually changed positions. So he talks about the coach, lots of coaches that helped him change positions, right?
You're saying before he was a wide receiver, he was quarterback, people.
Yeah.
He was quarterback, setting records, doing things.
Yeah, just like a guest that we had on the podcast season 2,
Charlie
Ward, right? But he stayed. He didn't stay.
He didn't want to play football.
Didn't want to. Yeah.
Either you're playing me as a quarterback, or I'm not playing for you, and went to basketball and was a legend there.
But Bert instead changed and technically had to develop new skills to be a wide receiver. So I really enjoyed that episode. Who we're bringing next to the table, Mad Dog?
Let's
season
bring
3.
Heather Lewis.
Ooh.
Is she a doctor?
She is not a doctor, but came with
She could be a doctor. That wisdom she had, the way she quickly, you love this, when she turned around, used that whiteboard and drew the iceberg. I mean, that was, that was right up your lane.
It was a great moment. No whiteboards here at the lake today.
No, we don't need them.
No whiteboards. They talked about the iceberg, right? That every person is carrying stuff under the iceberg. And what we see on the top is a small side of what everyone's carrying. So she researches mental health. She's researched all this stuff within elite sports.
Rugby.
A lot of rugby. She has, which you're getting there with the rugby.
Love to play rugby. Get me in.
No pads, coach.
No pads.
But she kind of brought some wisdom. I loved it. Like, what's good for our mental health? So being in nature, being in creation, so good for your mental health. That was a good thing. Movement was such an important thing. Like physically moving, being active, being part of a community. The social side, right? Being part of a community that you feel part of and belonging as well. So for me, Heather was someone who's done a lot of research in this area of mental health and mental well-being, the buzzword, right? So definitely worth going back, watching Heather Lewis. Great episode. I'm bringing to the table next up Sydney Pierce. Sydney Pierce, game changer. Liberty University, ice hockey, not field hockey, ice hockey. Sydney, she's someone who's done research. She's actually written a paper around the psychological side of injuries. So not just the physical recovery, but actually the mental side of how do you recover from injuries. Well, I enjoyed that, reading a paper as well. But you also liked a thing about, she talked about biblical integration.
Biblical integration, the psychological side of injury with the spiritual side. I mean, as an athlete, we're holistic. If you just look at the competitive nature or the physical components of an athlete, you're missing the other 3/4 at least.
So don't miss those other boxes. And she talked about biblical integration, not biblical injection. In a ministry, Scripture Union, her role doing camps and things, she wanted to bring biblical integration, not just biblical injection. So not just talking about Jesus like once in a water break and not it. She was talking about teachable moments, talking about spiritual components throughout the session. That was a really good game changer for me. Spiritual integration, not spiritual injection.
Would she still get money if we said the word?
She should have done that. She also loved the word prickly porcupine. Shout out that one.
$5.
Again.
$5.
There you go. $5. She gets lunch for every time she says that. Hope that's another $5. Sydney, great. Who we're bringing? 2 amazing women there, by the way. Just incredible game changers. Loved having them 2 on the podcast, bringing their perspective. Both great leaders. Who we're bringing next? Who you bringing to the table?
I'm going to bring Landit. I'm going to stay with, Nigeria's my path, my home. So let's bring in Landit, a referee who came. He was involved with Sports Friends early, came to the training, but his calling was to become a FIFA graded referee. So now he's in the 2nd division in Nigeria, and he's doing some great things there. Just to see him walk those steps, to take those steps of being physically able to run up and down the field, miles above some of the athletes, even some of the players, but then also taking his Christian stance of truth and honesty and making calls that aren't favoring one or the other or in place of something.
So needs inner wisdom and outer wisdom to do his role as a referee, right? Socially, being able to communicate. He does some crazy stories about referees not being paid unless the game goes something else. Remember the already lost culture?
Yeah, already, that's
remember
right.
talking about that in that area?
Yeah.
It's like, you go to the game and it's like always the home team wins. So the away team goes in with an already lost mindset. But Landet's trying to change that, right? One game at a time. He actually dialed in from his car. He was on the way to a game.
On the way to a match.
The signal wasn't great, but he was covering a game that someone else, the game was abandoned. So Landet has been trained by sports friends many years ago, and now he's using those values, the live, lead, minister, coach, and now he's in the world of sport, being a gamekeeper. Game changer and a gamekeeper.
I hope he's not changing the game too much. He's keeping the game. Keeping
just,
the rules.
Just with the corruption.
Laws of the game.
There you go, Landet. Great guest.
Who do you got?
I'm going to bring to the table, next up, Mr. Behind the Mountain, Jan Achterberg. Jan Achterberg. Jan, the Dutch speed skater. He was a speed skater, and now he's turned mountain runner. In terms of the physical challenge, marathon runner, now runs, he did challenge to raise money for his ministry, Next Move Sport. He did 7 marathons, 7 days. What a challenge. And the reason why he did that was to raise money for his ministry. And that's the ministry he does, is being someone that he wanted when he himself was a speed skater. So he told us a story of times when he wanted to retire from it because he couldn't connect his sport and faith, right? And someone was actually telling him, I don't know how to connect these two together. Now he's someone that helps athletes connect sport and faith together. So he's being the game changer that he wanted to see all those years ago.
All I remember is that he could eat anything. You could have 2 courses, 3 courses, it didn't matter. Because he's running, 100 miles a day?
Yes, you remember that. Yeah.
That's all I remember. I thought, I'm going to take up running so I can eat. I mean, I'm already eating anything.
Have you taken it up? Well,
no, I haven't.
Not yet. But
just stepping on the basketball court.
That's it. So, that was Jan
Achterberg,
Mr. Behind the Mountain.
Yeah.
Who would bring in next, Mr. Mad Dog?
Well, let's stick with, again, I'm going to stick with Nigeria. Daria, let's bring about Daria. Daria is our social corner queen. She had that social component in our 4 Corner Plus just built in. She knew how to relate to her team, her players, as well as the families. It was just a great thing to hear stories of how she incorporated not just the physical and the practice side of it, but also the social life with her players.
I loved it when she said, she goes and visits some of the parents, right? You want to find out how well kids are doing in a team, how much you care as a coach. She goes to the home to visit. And then she talked about the social activities that she does with her team, which makes it more than a team, right? Blessing the local community. And you shared stories in Nigeria of how many people have done that, right? But Daria is our social corner queen. And I just want to shout out some of our listeners in Nigeria. Thank you guys for listening in Nigeria. I know there's people like Susie, Diku, who watch every week. And I just...
You can list them all?
I'm not going to shout them all, but there's some of them there on there. But you guys know you are. Stick it in the chat. I'd appreciate you guys. So that was Daria. We had a few Sports Friends guys in there this season, right? We had some amazing guests. Yeah, mixing it up. We had some top athletes. We had some great leaders. But we also had some amazing Sports Friends leaders in this season. One of those leaders was our regional coordinator, Herschel Rothschild. Herschel with 2 hats. 1 hat, Sports Friends. 1 hat.
Social corner queen?
No, 1 hat.
Kid Aid.
There you go. Not just Kid Aid, Kid Aid USA.
Kid Aid USA. Is that a new thing?
That's a new thing.
Just launched, people.
Launched. Give us a follow. Visit
kidaid-usa.com
to find out more. There you go. That's why. Who's the comms person for that? Need to get a new face. So we had Herschel on, and he talked about, from his side of things, logistics, Kit Aid, getting off the ground, getting used kit to people who need it. It's more than just a jersey.
More than just a shirt.
It's more than just a cleat.
More than just give Herschel a call. Tell him you have something to give away, and he will gladly receive it.
What was the email? He did mention the email on the podcast.
Herschel-Rothschild.
That's right. Kit Aid email.
Info at kidaid-usa.com.
There you go. Love it. Brilliant. So that was another game changer from the world of Sports Friends. Now, I'm going to go to...
You just brought Herschel in.
Okay,
Let me
your
go.
turn. Come on, then who you bring in?
I'm going to bring Christian in.
I was going to bring him in. You just bring
I just brought him in.
There
I
you
beat
go.
him. So I brought Christian, and you talk about Christian Diamond.
Okay, Christian Diamond. So you thought I was fanboying, right? But for me, it's like, as a coach now, coaching in a professional academy now, I know how hard it is for players to make it through all the way to the level that he got to. So I think it's something like 0.00 0.127% of players.
What is a knot?
That is.
Are we on a beach?
Sorry. Okay, zero.
How many
Make it
knots per hour can you
contextualized.
go?
Okay, 0.00127%. Does that make sense?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Talking
Thank you
your
for
language
Americans.
now. There you go. Keep us right.
Americans love you.
So that's how many people realistically make it through to play there. And he played at a really high level. He played for Cardiff, and then he went to Crystal Palace. We heard the story of him being signed, how Palace were a little bit naughty with his parents and basically got him to go. And then he had a terrible injury. He wanted to be signed by an Italian team, by Tottenham, and then in the end he ended up going back to Wales, right?
That's where he's from,
That's
people.
where
Wales.
he's from, yeah. We love the Welshmen. I love having Welsh guys on here. We'd have Welsh guys on here any day. Great banter.
Wrexham.
There you go, Wrexham for life. Then he talked about how he gets a front row view now as a pastor. So he went from player to pastor, and I love this. He said that he's got a front row view pointing people to Jesus. And he said the one difference it makes being a Christian, we talk about already won, having this already won mindset, is that he can see how well Christians actually die. So he can help people die because they've got a greater hope, because they know they've already won. Ultimate victory has been achieved on the cross, Jesus defeating sin and death and the devil, so we don't have to fear death. I thought that was a really powerful thing that Christian brought from that spiritual side of things. Do you remember at the beginning, what he thought about Christians at the beginning? Do you remember when he was playing? Do you remember what he said? He said he felt that Christians were like feeble, they were like wimps, that kind of thing. And it wasn't until a game changer came in and started talking to him.
His girlfriend.
It was his girlfriend.
Now his wife, people.
Yeah, now his wife. There was a guy who was speaking who he started speaking about what does it mean to be a man, to be a husband, right? Talking his language and kind of making him kind of realize that actually you can be a Christian, his name Christian, you can be a follower of Jesus without being like a wimp or a wuss, right? He can be a footballer, he can be someone like that.
No.
That's it. So I really enjoyed that atmosphere. I know you said I was fanboying, but for me,
You're definitely fanboy.
I was.
But he's
I was
also,
enjoying that.
now he carries the babies, he marries the couple, and he buries them. But now he's also coming to do golf.
There you
know,
go.
this pastor is coming over to the U.S. June 23rd, people,
And where's that?
in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
There you go, June 23rd. If you're in the States, get there. There's a chance to play against us, against Christian, and compete for the Sam Ryder Trophy.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. You can meet us. I don't know how much of a pull that is, but you can come and see the Sam Ryder Trophy. Come to our fundraiser and hear more about the Ministry of Sports Friends. There's 12 guys coming over from the UK, actually 13 if you include myself. One of those guys is Christian. I don't count, especially when it comes to golf. My golf game definitely is not worth counting. So
We'll see.
Anyway, so that's coming up. So if you want to know more about that, where can people go to find out more about that?
They can send me an email at kyle.abts@sim.org. It'll be on the bottom of the screen. For these people, just rewind it. Give me an email. Tell me you're coming. You can play. You can spectate. You can watch. Anything you want to do.
Love it. We can spectate watching you play golf.
love it.
That's good fun. That's definitely worth coming up.
Bring your axe. I'm going to be in the woods, people.
Lumberjack. So that is Christian. Great game changer. I'm going to bring in another Welshman, from one Welshman to another. I never thought I'd be able to get this guy, Dr. Graham Daniels. For me personally, is in the UK is an amazing game changer. Someone who's a director of Christians in sport. He's someone that mentored me and Jan Achterbird for a full year of leadership, which was an amazing year of my growth, developing myself and Jan as well.
Is there gold dust in Graham Daniels?
Oh, there's so much gold dust.
Is there a book from Graham Daniels?
There's a book. He came in, and it's called
Game Changer.
It's not called Game. It's called the Spiritual Game Plan.
Game Plan.
Spiritual Game Plan. That book is a
Should be called
game changer.
Spiritual Game Changer.
Maybe I'll do a part 2, and he'll
so.
collaborate.
It's
Maybe.
going to be a movie.
So he came in, talked about the Spiritual Game Plan. Graham's story about he was a player. He moved into coaching. He moved into working for the FA. Then he worked he's a director for Christians in sport as well right now. So, and he's also a director of Cambridge as well. So,
Cambridge United?
Yeah, Cambridge United. That's right.
Woohoo, people.
So I love it. Just, talk about sports ministry. He knows the elite world of sport, and he also knows sports ministry together. For me, Dr. Graham Daniels, amazing game changer.
Well, last one. This
One
is your
more.
guy. This is right up your lane. Everything, all encompassing of this last guest, Kelly Finley. Great coach, but before coach, he was a player, but also he was around with the Charlotte Eagles, the start of MAI, the development of MAI, and now he's a coach at Liberty. Coaches on a mission.
Yeah, coaches on mission. You know, his game
Coaches
changer,
on mission.
Yeah, his game changer.
Remove
story.
the A,
Yeah,
people.
So his story, right? He's coached at the top level. Then he sat down with a player on a bench, not dissimilar to this one, probably not a
There's
lake
a bench here for
like
those
this.
of you not watching.
So he sat down on there. I think it was a sofa, actually, a couch, and he
So
was
a lot
sitting
different
there.
than a bench.
It was a lot. He was sitting somewhere with a young person. Anyway, wherever he was, you have to go back and listen. So he said this game-changing moment. And he asked the player. He said, "Do you see me as someone who helps change and transform you?" And the player said,
No,
"Not really.
Not really.
I don't really see that.
I don't know who
no."
you are. Just yell at me all the time.
So he had this
Do this,
thing.
don't do that.
He had this thing, right? Am I a user of players or am I a developer of people? Wow.
What do you think he said, people?
So he said he wants to be more a developer of people. So, of course, he used to use players to get results, and results was all that matters and stuff. But he went on this movement, which he's on now, Coaches on Mission, to help coaches understand what it looks like. The guy brought so much goldness about what does it look like to be intentional. He says he sends quotes, different quotes to some of his guys that
Right
are on
up
the
your
team.
lane.
He sends books. He sends book recommendations. He sends anything like scripture. He sits down. He says he gets on golf carts and he talks to them, you know, and he does whole life discipleship with his team, and that leads to him developing the player and developing the person,
People.
not just using players, but developing it. And he talks about real practical tools that I think we can all glean. I've listened to that episode probably about
20 times?
at least, yeah, and I've got something else from it because Kelly to
Pat
me,
in the stats, people.
honestly, it was gold dust was blocks. It was gold dust was gold,
It was actually
blocks.
gold bars, people.
Gold bars.
Fort Knox has nothing on Ben's.
So that's what happens, right? You gather the gold dust
Wildcat.
and you make gold bars. That's
There
right.
you go.
You listen to all the episodes.
See? At
Enough
the,
times.
at the end of the season, you're going to have gold bars, people.
So I hope you do. I hope you have gold bars.
Investing in you.
Yeah, I hope you
is
have
what we
gold
do.
bars. That's it. So he brought that. I think it's worth going back and listening to Kelly Finley. And yeah, and he was also there at the start of Sports Friends, going to different places. And he was there at the start of when we went to Ethiopia and Thailand as well. So incredible game changer. And we thank not just Kelly, but all our game changers. We also had Aaron Barnes on as well. Aaron Barnes came in and
Great
he was
guy.
someone who played for Arsenal, right? He came through the Arsenal Academy and then he went to play for Charlton. Now he plays semi-pro, but he transitioned to be a scout. And he now goes across different games, watches, looking for game changers. He's looking across different places to look for game changers. And he brought an insight on what a scout is looking for. He's not just looking for how he plays, he's looking at how he interacts with his teammates. How is he able to listen to his
incredible,
coach?
yeah.
And his warm-up. You know, scouts watch the little things, right? How receptive are the players? How do they react when things aren't going well? How do you warm up? How do you interact? If you're the biggest fish in the pond or in the lake, as we are, do you have that humility to still learn and to have those soft skills that are able to sustain him later in life, or her later in life as well? So for me, Aaron Barnes was a great game changer. Barnesy, thank you for your time as well. So Mad Dog, look at that list. Game changer.
Is there a list here? I
after
should have been
game
looking at
changer.
this.
Game changer after game changer, who brought wisdom from the technical or the outer wisdom, psychological, inner wisdom, physical, stature,
Social.
favor with man, and then the spiritual plus favor with God. That's season 3 wrapped up in a wrap. The game changer season, Mad Dog. Remember we did a one-off episode as well, how to be a game changer. Remember that one?
We did that one. I think it was recently. Right?
Recently did
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, worth going back. That one.
Watch
was...
that one 1,000 times, people.
Then you'll get the gold bars. And we also did our 1-year anniversary as well. Remember in that one when we did that and looked back at some of those things?
The 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, do you remember that?
was in Houston.
Yeah, no, we did that one as well, and that's to go back and look as well. But guys, please do go back and subscribe on YouTube. Please do give us a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, right? Helps us just get this to other people to hear about, not just Sports Friends, the game changer work and all the game changers that we train, but also some of these other ministries as well. Sports Friends is one ministry that is trying to make disciples through sport, but we've had so many other ministries on as well, which you can find out about as well, right? We're not just the only one in our lane, right?
Nope.
There's
But
different
we're staying
people.
in our lane.
We're staying in the lane, or
We're helping people to stay in their
are we
lane.
going in the lake?
That's you. What
Time-
about maybe season 4?
Season 4. Who do you want to see in season 4?
We want to see Ben. How many want to see Ben go in the lake? People?
In season
People,
4.
everyone's
In season
raising their
4.
hands over
in
here.
Season 4. We've got some guys behind who are here waving their hands behind. Who do you want to see in season 4? And what do you want to see in season 4? What do you want to see, people? Stick it in the chat. Let us know. Get in touch with us anytime. Mad Dog, we have had the game changer season. Remember that God is the ultimate game changer. He is the one who helps us change the game. we bring in guests who are game changers that help us bring in gold dust to make gold bars to help you change the game in the lane that you're in. But what do we have to do, Mad Dog? Above all,
well, besides going for a swim, you got to tell your friends. You know what? Tell your friends. Get your parents involved. You know, your parents are valuable. They're still valuable. But tell their friends as well. Just tell everybody.
41. Time to go on the lake.
Let's go. Bring it over.